And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. It does not matter if you played the game you were watching. So you're allowed to have an opinion as well. Let's talk Cavs really quickly. Figure I should jump in, start doing this basketball content. I consume and watch a lot of basketball, so might as well. And I talk about it a lot too, so might as well add that aspect in. Let's talk Cavs. Recently made the big splash trade, getting Darius Garland up out of here. Kind of been wanting Darius Garland up out of here for probably like 3 years now. So finally made the big splash trade, get Darius Garland up out of here. Got James Harden in return. It's a lot of mixed reviews as far as the trade is concerned. I didn't understand why there were so many mixed reviews. The only thing that you could argue that Darius Garland has over James Harden is he's younger. That's about it. That's it. For all of the flaws, quote unquote, that would come with James Harden, he's still a better basketball player than Darius Garland. Because, when we talk about, the main things that's brought up with James Harden, and rightfully so, I want to say this, rightfully so. It's right. It's clear why they're brought up, because it's true. It's factual. Game sevens or just, close out games in the playoffs, Harden usually no-shows. He's usually a no-show. He's usually an abysmal basketball player in game sevens or just close out games, period. He's usually terrible in those games. He's also known to quit on teams. These are facts. These are things that he does. These are facts. Let me tell you why I don't have a problem with those things. Number one, playoffs. For every closeout game or game seven where James Harden craps the bed, usually in that playoff series, there were 1 or 2 games earlier in the series where James Harden actually balled out. Wasn't like he was just trashed the entire series. It's just game sevens or closeout games. And I know. That's when you need him the most. And then that's when he craps the bed. Understandable. I'm with you. I understand that. For that aspect, really quickly before I move on to the other one, for that aspect, here's why I don't have a problem with that. I don't think he's had another player beside him playing at the level that Donovan Mitchell is currently playing at. I'm going to say that again. I don't think he's ever had a player playing beside him that's playing at the level that Donovan Mitchell is currently playing at. So I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell is better than every other counterpart that James Harden has ever had in his entire career. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the level of basketball that Donovan Mitchell is playing right now, which could arguably be MVP basketball. The level of basketball he's playing right now, I don't think Harden's ever had that by his side. So I'm not including the OKC. I'm talking about when Harden got on his own, and it's like, all right, well, you're expected to do, you the man, not you the guy coming off the bench. You the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you and then whoever this other guy is. Not, well, you the third guy and you coming off the bench. That ain't what I'm talking about. If you want to say Joel Embiid was hurt. And, because my one guy, we was kind of talking about it. And, he's like, well, no, Embiid wasn't hurt. And it's like, nah, he was playing, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't 100%. He was playing, but he was playing at like 70%. So again, I'm sorry, a 70% Joel Embiid is not better than the level of basketball that Donovan Mitchell is playing right now. It's not. Like, you at 70%, Embiid. At times, at 70%, you struggle to get up and down the court, bro. Real talk. You struggle to even get up and down the court, just period. And then you settle for a lot of jump shots. Like, I mean, that's the truth. And then, we don't know if you're going to remain healthy. Like, you'll end up getting banged up even more. And then you go from being 70% to 60%. And so even though you're out there and your name is on the back of your jersey, it's not the real you. It's not the 100% healthy you. So you're getting everything from that guy. When he was in Houston, Chris Paul, Mr. I always get hurt. Chris Paul always get hurt in playoffs. Always. So he get hurt, leave James Harden on his own. And yeah, he went to bed. James Harden went to bed. Over in Brooklyn, whole team got hurt. Kyrie goes down. If Kyrie don't go down, because Harden was out there hurt himself, respectfully. But he was still out there kind of trying to gut it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was working. But then once Kyrie went down, like, it was a wrap. Kyrie went down, Harden went down, and then it was just Durant by himself. So, I mean, that's kind of why that didn't work out. So, like, when we come to, this aspect of, him wetting the bed in closeout games or game sevens, I don't envision him being the one with the ball to take us home. I would envision that being Donovan Mitchell. That's who I would envision that being. I also don't think that James Harden would have a problem. If he's struggling, if it comes to a game 7 and he's struggling, his shot isn't falling in that game, I don't think Harden would have a problem saying, you know what, let me take a back seat. I'm going to handle the rock, dish it. And then when we need a bucket, I'm going to give it to Donovan Mitchell. That's what I would do. Harden, you struggling in game 7? Okay, don't shoot no more. Give it to Donovan Mitchell and let Donovan Mitchell score 60. Now, I know that ain't just the ideal recipe for basketball, but this is what the only thing I'm saying is a win is a win is a win. And instead of going down with our only option being James Harden jacking the ball up and he can't make a shot, well, luckily we have Donovan Mitchell, a scoring machine from every aspect of the game, from all levels of the court, from all 3 levels. At the basket, mid-range, and 3. He can dribble drive, he can finish at the cup, he can also facilitate a little bit. So I wouldn't have a problem with, hey, Harden, if you're struggling, watch out. Give Donovan Mitchell the ball and get out the way. He'll take you to where you need to go. So now, Harden, in these playoff series, just give me your best efforts in like games 1 through 3 or 1 through 4. Win 1 or 2 of those games. Because you're capable of doing it. I've seen you do that before. You can win 1 or 2 of those early series games. And then when we get to the back end of the series, the closeout games, let Donovan Mitchell cook. Let Donovan do it. Let him do it. Because all this previous time, Donovan out there by himself, and you need Darius Garland to help him out, and Darius Garland is either hurt, too scared, or too small. One of those 3 things. He's either hurt, so he ain't out there at all, or he's too small, meaning, he might be, even for the games that he's okay on offense, he's giving up constant buckets to Jalen Brunson on the other end of the court, or whoever else he might be guarding. He's giving up constant buckets on the other end of the court, and then flopping and flailing all over the place. And then when you don't get the foul on defense, it's an easy bucket because you just flopping and flailing because you ain't got no upper body strength or nothing like that. So as soon as somebody hits you with the chicken wing bone to create that space, you go flying across the court. Seen him do that in the game earlier against Charlotte. Brandon Miller, give him a little chicken wing. He fall to the ground. Brandon Miller look at him, and then he's standing there, wide open 3. Bam, tie the game, send it into overtime. Charlotte end up winning. Because this lane want to flop and fall all over the ground. Play defense, man. Stop flopping and falling all over the place, man. Toughen up some. So, that aspect, Darius Garland was always either hurt, too small, or too scared. One of those things. So, again, Harden might not be the best defender in the world. He's far from it. But at least he's not just flopping and flailing all over the place as soon as somebody shoot him a chicken wing. Like, Harden has a little bit more of a firm, stable frame to be able to if somebody shoot him a chicken wing, at least he can just try to stay there in front of you instead of flopping and flailing all over the daggone place, man. Facilitation. Whatever assisting that you thought that you might have been losing, no, you're not losing that. James Harden is a better passer than Darius Garland is. And that's no slight to Darius Garland. But James Harden is a better passer than Darius Garland is. I'm sorry. He is. James Harden is also a better ball handler than Darius Garland. And then I hated it when he was on these other teams, but now that he's on the Cavs, he got that foul baiting. He can foul bait. He foul baits better than Darius Garland. He could just grab your arm and then go up and act like you fouled him. 2 shots at the line. Beautiful. Darius Garland don't have that. He don't have that in his bag. The foul baiting. Where you just grab somebody's arm and then you flail like this and then you act like they fouled you. 2 points, 2 free throws for you. So the foul baiting, I absolutely love it. Bring the foul baiting, bring it on. Foul bait everybody that you can. Grab all their arms and act like they fouling you. Now that it's on the Cavs, foul bait. And better not nobody else say nothing about it, because I'm going to defend it. He got fouled. Look at it. There it is. I'm going to openly defend it. Knowing that it's some trash, I'm going to defend it. Look at that. Look. See, he fouled him right there. There it is. There it is. He shouldn't be close enough for James Harden to grab his arm. That's you back up some. Give him some room. Give Harden some room. You can't be that close. If you breathe on him, that's a foul. Back up. I'm going to support it. Every bit of it. The only thing that Darius Garland had over James Harden is he's younger. That's absolutely it. Now, the next part for Harden would be the quitting on teams. Here's why I'm not worried about that. He usually quits when it's all said and done. That's usually when he quits, is when it's all said and done. Usually, it's not like a quitting thing mid-season or mid-playoffs. That was kind of what was talked about like early on in Houston. But since then, usually when he quit, it's usually when everything is all said and done. That's when he quits on you. Okay? So, if he was to quit on the Cavs, well, it would probably be at the end of the season when everything is over with. Well, if he wants to quit then, fine. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Cool. Quit. It doesn't matter to me. Go ahead, quit. Like, the season's over with. Go ahead, quit. If you want to go somewhere else, go. I'm glad to have you here while you was here, man. Way to go. And if you want to go somewhere else, hey, by all means, go ahead. I'm not tripping. I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed having James Harden here while he was here. I'm gonna try to get a jersey, just because, you know what I'm saying. It's like, you weird. You had that weird jersey. Like, man, James Harden played for the Cavs. You're like, yeah, man, he was here for about 20 games. He was here for about 20 games, 2 playoff series. Yeah, he was here. So if he wants to go, like if after the season go to the end and he like disgruntled, I want to go to the Pelicans, or I want to go over here because they're going to pay me. All right, go ahead. I'm not mad at you. Go ahead and quit on this. I don't care, because I don't think he's going to quit during the season. Like, that's my thing. I don't think he's going to quit mid-game. I don't think he's going to quit in a playoff series. Now when you got Donovan Mitchell on the side of you, because the way Donovan Mitchell can sometimes put on a cape and turn into Superman, that's going to inspire you to be like, oh shit, wait a minute, I was quitting, but like he about to drop 70. Let me get back in the game. Come on, I got you. I'm gonna help you out, Donovan. Let me see that. Let me see the PO right quick. I'm about to help you. So if he want to leave at the end of the year, by all means, man, go ahead. I'm not mad at it. And the last part, let's just say he don't want to leave, right? I wouldn't be mad if the Cavs extended him. Here's why. His contract and what he was looking for, and the money that you would have paid Darius Garland, James Harden is $4 million cheaper. Yep, $4 million cheaper. So yeah, he old. Don't get me wrong. He older. He up there. He older. But well, if you got 3 good years left, well, yeah, give him to us. And then even if you only play 2 of the years and then you get disgruntled and you mad and you want out, cool. I don't care. I wouldn't even be mad. That's what you do. So that's what I'm expecting. I just know that while I got you here, I can pencil you in for double-digit points, maybe about 8 or 9 assists, 12 assists if you cooking that night. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get in the passing lane once or twice, get you a steal, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to foul bait. I'm with that. Like, I'm with it. That's what I have no problem with this. I absolutely love it. I have no problem with this at all. I feel like it was a fantastic move. Okay? I feel like it was an amazing move, man. And then not only that, you get off of Darius Garland. Okay? A guy who, for the time he was here, great, cool, wonderful. No, hey, it is what it is, man. But when we need you the most, you don't show up, and you're also always hurt. You're also always hurt. So you a little guard to start with, which means you behind the A-ball, and then you always hurt as a little guard, as a small guard, and you always hurt. Like, I'm sorry, man. And then when you are healthy, we don't know which Darius Garland we're going to get in the playoffs. Is it going to be the one who out there getting buckets, or is it going to be the guy who looks scared and looks too small? That's all I'm saying. The trade that I did have an issue with, though, trading DeAndre Hunter for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. Now, Keon Ellis, I like him better than Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, I'm taking back a little bit. When we got Karis LeVert, I didn't like that. I didn't feel like Karis LeVert moved the needle for you at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel like that's what you needed. Like, you don't need that, because Karis LeVert and Dennis Schroeder are very similar to me. They're guys who need the ball to score. They need the ball. They have to have the ball in their hands to score. Okay, that's for starters. And then number two, they're volume shooters. They're volume scorers. So they're not necessarily these efficient scorers. They look good when they on trash teams like the Atlanta Hawks, or when the Detroit Pistons wasn't good, like the Detroit Pistons, you know what I'm saying? Like the Sacramento Kings, teams like that. When you playing on a trash team and you could jack the ball up because there really ain't nobody over there, like you could just jack the ball up, you get good numbers. You averaging like 20, 22 points a game, something like that, jacking the ball up. But when we take you off those teams and put you on a good team where you got two other stars that's in front of you, and so now you don't get the ball in your hands that much. And then not only that, when they pass you the ball, they need you to make this shot. Well, that ain't really your game all like that. Your game is, I kind of need the ball and be able to do my thing, and then that's how I score. Not, I'm a catch and shoot guy, or, I'm standing in the corner waiting on that, you know what I mean? Or I'm the swing shoot guy. Like, that's the thing that got me with the whole Dennis Schroeder thing. I'm like, you don't need another point guard. You don't need another small point guard that's a volume shooter. Like, you don't need that. Because Dennis Schroeder doesn't bring anything else to the table except volume shooting, and that's how he scores his points. He's not this great defender. He's not a facilitator. He doesn't rebound. What else does he do besides volume shoot in order to get his points? That's pretty much all he does. That and turn down $80 million thinking that he better than what he is, and then have Luka troll him the whole game for that. And then he get mad at Luka because Luka trolled him and tell him, you should have took that $80 million, bud. That's what you did, but you thought you was better than what you is. You think that you better than what you are. You're not that good. You be good like that in FIBA, but this the NBA. So you're not as good as you think you are, bruh. I don't see what else Dennis Schroeder brings to the table. I don't. So when you traded away DeAndre Hunter and you got him and Keon Ellis, who's 6'4", well, essentially now what you're missing from the roster is what you traded away, which is a 6'7", 6'8" wing player. And yes, DeAndre was having a down offensive year, but I don't give a darn. He's still 6'8" with a long wingspan, and he can play defense on the premier, players that you're going to see in the playoffs come down the road. When you got to go up against a Jaylen Brown, or you got to see a New York Knicks team that got an OG Anunoby, a Josh Harden. Like you would serve much better having DeAndre Hunter. Whether his offensive game is there or not, man, you ended up getting James Harden. So I'm, truth be told, with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, I'm not worried about offense. I'm not worried about getting buckets. It's about to be enough buckets to go around. I'm not worried about buckets. I need a wing defender. The most sought after position in the NBA period. The most sought after position, and it don't seem like it's enough of them to go around. The wing players. The defenders or the 3-and-D guys at the wing positions. That's what you need. And we traded it away for Dennis Schroeder, a ball-dominant small guard that's a volume shooter in order to score. We don't need that. We didn't need that. You could have just kept Hunter, and in my opinion, your roster would have been better. Last but not least, Kenny Atkinson. He need to get up out of here. He need to go. The same energy that I gave Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, Kenny Atkinson, you need to go, okay? When we got rid of JB and we got you that very first year, it was like, all right, okay, you know what? All right, we lightweight cooking. Offense look real nice. You know, we got this sweet offense, you know what I'm saying? You dropping threes all over the place, sweet offense. We got to the next round of the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get to these guys, but we got to the next round of the playoffs, so it looked like, you know, all right, we trending in the right direction. That's what it looked like. And then Kenny, everything just kind of just went to crap for some odd reason. It's like we got rid of Ty Jerome and brought in Lonzo Ball, and I guess just for some reason, everything just went to crap. And I blame a lot of it on you, Kenny Atkinson, because the lineups that you put out there are absolutely ridiculous. And I could see if you're like tweaking and playing around with lineups against, you know, like just weird, inferior opponents. But my thing is this: once you see a lineup don't work, don't use it no more. Or hurry up and get out of it. He don't do that. He'll double down on it or just put another lineup out there that's incompetent. So, for example, when the very first game that James Harden played for us after we acquired him, okay? Now, the problem is, like I say, part of the problem that we got is we traded away a wing defender and added small guards. So now, like, we just got it because we already had a lot of guards on the team. We was already guard heavy. We had a lot of guards. But having DeAndre Hunter helped us out, you know, and then the emergence of Jalen Tyson this year as well. But we got a lot of guards. Then when you traded for Schroeder and Ellis, you just added more guards. You don't have any wings. You just got a lot of guards, just a lot of small guards. But here's the problem. Just because you got all them small guards, that don't mean you got to put them all on the court at the same time. This is what Kenny Atkinson did. It's starting lineup for the very first game that James Harden finna play in after we traded for him. This was the starting lineup. Now, don't get me wrong, Evan Mobley is hurt, but I still don't think that would have necessarily changed what Kenny did with the lineup too much. His starting lineup was he had Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Sam Merrill, Jalen Tyson, and Jared Allen. The problem with that lineup for me, why is Sam Merrill starting? Why is Sam Merrill in the starting lineup? Why? Because you already got Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Your scoring is set. If you wanted to say, well, three-point shooting, well, guess what? Jalen Tyson is one of the best percentage-wise. And it ain't like he only shoot one or two a game. Like, he put them up. Jalen Tyson is one of the best three-point shooters percentage-wise in the league. In the entire NBA. So, three-point shooting? Well, you got Jalen Tyson out there. You don't need three. Your three-point shooting is good. You got Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Jalen Tyson. They can all shoot threes. So you don't need another three-point shooter out there right now. So what's the point in putting Sam Merrill out there? He's not a defender. He's not a facilitator. He's not a rebounder. So what is he out there for? What is he going to do? Spot up to shoot threes? Well, that's kind of why you got Jalen Tyson out there. Like, I don't understand why you wanted to put three guards, why you want to have them three guards on the court like that at the same time. Why? For what? It doesn't make any sense to me. You had enough scoring. If you got Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Jalen Tyson all on the court together, that's enough scoring. You don't need any more scoring on the court. That's enough scoring to go around. You don't need any more scoring. It's only one basketball. So those last two positions should be used for defense and rebounding. So even though it might not look sexy in the starting lineup to see his name, I would have started Naquan Tomlin. I would have started him. You know why? Because he don't need the ball. He's going to play defense and he's going to rebound. He's also a lob threat, which is going to be beautiful for James Harden. Because Jared Allen had an amazing game just off getting these little pocket passes and stuff from James Harden, just off the pick and roll itself. Jared Allen had one of his best games just off the pick and roll with him and Harden. And Harden just, because they was trapping Harden a lot. As soon as the pick, they immediately, as soon as Harden got the ball, it's like they immediately trapped. And then Harden would find the open guy out of the trap. But these lineups that Kenny put out there is crazy to me. Then once that lineup wasn't, when that lineup wasn't working, like when that lineup wasn't working out well, he took out Sam Merrill and Donovan Mitchell, and then he put in Craig Porter Jr. and Naquan Tomlin. So now you got James Harden, Porter Jr., Naquan Tomlin, Jalen Tyson, and Jared Allen. Why is Porter Jr. out there? To do what? What are you out there doing? What are you out there doing? This is my problem. You forcing these minutes with Craig Porter Jr. Well, if that's the case, what you got Dennis Schroeder for? What you trade to get him for? Why? Because then later on in the game, he had Dennis Schroeder, Craig Porter Jr., and Keon Ellis all on the court at the same time. You got three little guards all on the court at the same time. And this was the thing. When I'm watching the game, every time that he's got these lineups out there where it's just all these guards, we can't stop anybody and we can't get a rebound. Every time he's got those weird lineups out there, we can't get a stop and we can't get a rebound, which is making the job harder. Now you're getting these runs in the game that you don't need, where you might have been, down 6, and then you could tie the game, but instead they increased the lead. Now you're down 10, just because you wasn't able to get a rebound, because you don't have any rebounders in the game. You don't have rebounders in there. Only rebounder you got in there is Jared Allen. And so, like, some of these lineups that he has, to me, it doesn't put the player in the best position to be successful. If Porter Jr. is out there, he shouldn't be out there with another point guard. Because he's not a great shooter. He's not really great at facilitating. He's just he's decent at everything. He's not good at anything. He's just decent at everything. So if you're asking me, if Porter Jr. out there, he need to be the one handling the ball. He need to be the point guard, because he's not an off guard. He's not good at that. Neither is Dennis Schroeder. He's not good at being the off guard. That was the problem with Lonzo Ball, in my opinion, why Lonzo Ball was struggling this year, because it was offense. Well, Lonzo was off the ball a lot, regulating him to be this catch and shoot guy. Well, that ain't what Lonzo is. Lonzo's best ability is him with the ball in his hands, pushing the pace or making plays with his passing. And he's a great rebounder, great defender. That's what his skill set is. But you love to put Lonzo Ball on the court with Porter Jr. and Donovan Mitchell. Okay, well, Lonzo can't be himself then, because Porter Jr. got to have the ball, Donovan Mitchell got to have the ball. So Lonzo can't have the ball. So now Lonzo just regulated to the corner. He got to stand in the corner and wait for somebody to pass him the ball and shoot the three. Okay, well, that's not Lonzo. That ain't what he's good at. That's not him. So it's the same thing. We love to put 2 and 3 point guards or 2 or 3 guards who need the ball on the floor together at the same time. That is not a winning lineup. They're not going to be successful. That's not putting your players in position to utilize what their skill sets are, what they're best at. Because with all of these guards you got, somebody minutes need to get scaled back. You can't play all these guards. You can't do it. All of these point guards, to me, it ain't enough minutes to go around for all of them. Now, we'll see as the season goes on and mainly when we get to the playoffs. Because when we get to the playoffs, if we giving all these minutes to Craig Porter Jr. and Dennis Schroeder and having these guys on the court at the same time, Kenny, you definitely need to get out. I already want you out of here. But then you definitely need to get up out of here. Because the lineups that you're putting out there are absolutely crazy. And then when you look at him a lot, standing on the sideline, he always got this confused look on his face, like this. He always looks confused. Well, Kenny, you put the lineup out there. What are you confused about? You know what I'm saying? It looked like he got a flask sitting on the side of him, and he taking sips out of it during the game. I don't know. He just looks like he overwhelmed or like he lost at certain points of the game. And it's like, you put this lineup out there. So what are you lost about? I don't get it. So we'll see as things, progress. The one thing that I can say is luckily the Cavs did, as poorly as Kenny's lineups were constructed and orchestrated and how he put it out there and everything, how he wrote it out there. Just your sheer effort and will from, again, Donovan Mitchell. You came away with the win. At the very end of the game, you was able to pull away, and come away with the win. But again, in my opinion, you could have won that game by like 10, 15 points if you just had to put some better lineups on the court. Don't play Jalen Tyson at the 4 spot. He's not a 4. He is a wing player. Naquan Tomlin is more fit to play the 4 position with his skill set than Jalen Tyson is, just because you want to put Sam Merrill out there. It was the same thing with last year when we traded for DeAndre Hunter, and I thought DeAndre Hunter should have been starting. But Kenny wanted to continue to put Max Strus out there. He just had to start Max Strus. When in my opinion, Hunter should have been the one that was moved into the starting lineup, especially since he was viewed as the missing piece. If you're the missing piece, you shouldn't be coming off the bench. You should be starting. Them first couple games when he got here, if you still wanted to start Max Strus, cool. But after the first few games, Hunter should have been inserted into the starting lineup. I felt like you stunted his growth with the Cavs, Kenny Atkinson, because you kept bringing him off the bench. And then this year, when you decided to start him, you wouldn't leave him in there. You move him in and out the lineup because I guess, his offense was struggling a little bit. So then you just move him in and out the lineup. One week he's starting, the next week he's coming off the bench. That's I don't get that. Either let the kid start or not, man. And in my opinion, he should have been starting, period. Should have been starting when you traded for him. So now we stuck with all these small guards. We're going to see what Kenny, we're going to see how Kenny decides to deploy his lineups going forward. Hopefully when Evan Mobley comes back, that'll help a little bit with Kenny and his lineups. I also didn't necessarily like the way we were staggering the minutes for Harden and Donovan Mitchell. But again, it was the very first game, so there is room to, move around a little bit. And we'll see how going forward, we'll see how, Kenny decides to, divvy up the minutes and everything and what lineups, he'll decide to deploy out there. Like I say, especially considering when Evan Mobley is back in the fold. But yeah, I think you have a good enough roster to at the bare minimum make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that you have a good enough roster, even with all them small guards on it. I think you have a good enough roster to be able to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Kenny Atkinson, if you don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, you got to get up out of here, buddy. You need to go. Because I'm watching what JB Bickerstaff is doing over there in Detroit. And then really quickly before I go, the way that the Cavs resurgence came about up under JB, it started with defense. It was defense first. And then on offense, we would just kind of figure it out. Like, all right, we'll just figure it out. We'll just kind of figure out how we're going to score. But we finna buckle down on defense. Defense. That's what the new Cavs was built on. Defense. When Kenny Atkinson took over, the defense was there in that initial season, and then he kind of added the offense. But since Kenny has been the coach, our defensive mentality has completely waned, and we've become an offensive team. Problem with that is you got to be good on offense, really good, if you're going to not focus on your defense anymore. Meanwhile, Detroit Pistons have adopted that JB Bickerstaff attitude, and they defense first, and then Cade Cunningham get the rock and go. And it's working. It's working pretty darn good. To the point where I feel like if you gave JB Bickerstaff, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Mobley, if you gave him this, I believe you could pencil JB in for the Eastern Conference Finals. I really do. I believe that you could go ahead and pencil him in. I really do. So, we'll see what you do going forward, Kenny, but you got the roster. Even with them little guards, you got the roster. You're going to have to produce, my man. Otherwise, you're next to go, and you join Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta somewhere. Dogs on the couch, signing off.